श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So yesterday he said, एवं भूतो ब्राह्मणः स्यात् वरिष्ठः ब्रह्मवादिनां गुणातीतः स्थितप्रज्ञः विष्णुभक्तश्च कथ्यते. This kind of Brahman means the person, not a Brahmin, the person who is established in the Brahman. Varishtha is referred to as Brahmavid Varishtha. By whom? Brahmavadinam, by the knowers of Brahman. He is also referred to as Gunatitaha, a person who is beyond the qualities, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Sthita Prajnaha. Beyond the qualities means because the whole creation is a product of qualities, an effect of qualities. Because ignorance has these three qualities. Tribunatmaka, Vidya. Vidya is of three qualities. Therefore he says he is beyond the qualities. Sthita Prajnaha. He is one who is established in the knowledge. Prajnaha yasya sthitaha. One whose knowledge is very much established. Vishnu Bhaktascha Katyate, and he is also referred to as a devotee of Vishnu. Here Vishnu is not the Vishnu of Vaikuntha, but this is Vishnu Vishudru Vyapto, the all-pervading self. Ati Varnashrami Jivan Mukta Atmaratistatha Etasya Kritakrityatvat Shastramat Smat Nivartate. He is also referred to as Ati Varnashrami. Ati Varnashrami Jivan Mukta Atparatihi Tatha Etasya Kritakrityatvat Shastram Asmat Nivartate. Ati Varnashrami Varna Ashrami Atitya Vartate. Varnam Ashramascha Atitya Vartate iti Ati Varnashrami. So he says, one who is beyond the Varnas and Ashramas. What are Varnas? Varnas Chatur Varniyamaya Srishtamas Bhagavan establishes in this very Bhagavad Gita. The four Varnas are created, are a product of my own creation. They are created by me. They are manifested by me. Therefore, the whole idea of getting confused with reference to these Varna Ashramas, of this Varna being superior, that Varna to be inferior, etc., is a product of fictitious mind or a product of weak mind. Because this is all, the problem with this is, the problem with all this is, it's all viewed with reference to, with the prism of Abrahamic religions. That is the problem. We don't have to bind ourselves to show our system to be superior to their system because we have that and much more. No. We cannot compare two things which are not comparable. They are incomparable. You cannot compare them. So the reason is here the beauty of our system is it caters to each and every kind of mentality. You accept God, you are a Hindu. You don't accept God, you are a Hindu. The others, there is a problem. If you don't accept my God, then you are dead. But here it is not so. Or you are pushed into hell. You are a permanent resident of hell. This kind of threatens. But here we don't threaten people. We allow them to grow peacefully. You believe, you don't believe in God? Okay, fine. You believe in God? Fine. You believe in one God? Fine. You believe in one God manifesting as many gods? Fine. You believe in many gods? Fine. Everything is fine here. Beauty of our system. So, there is nothing here which is a weak or strong. Everything is equal in every situation. So, the Varna, the categories of Varna is not to show someone lower or show someone superior. Because you may be a Brahmin in this birth, but you may become, if you have not gained the knowledge, then you may be born as a Shudra in the next birth, or a dog or cat or something. You may be a dog or cat in the past birth. Now in this birth you are something, a human being. So we believe in the rebirth system, which is a very beautiful system to encourage us to grow. See, our Bhagavan, our God does not, our Ishvara does not make us strictly obey the rules. There are no commandments here. There are no rules here. You are led to grow by yourself. You understand? This is all said. It's all said here. You accept whatever and grow slowly. No, this is what is. No, we don't do that. That is not the system. So here, Jiva Mukta, that Ati Varnashrami, that person is beyond Varna and Ashrama. What is Varna? Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. The priestly class, the warrior class, the business class and the service class. We have 4 classes of people. Now, there is no one greater than other. There is no greater than thou attitude here. This is all because of the fickle minds. Okay? Next. There is another ashrama called Anashrama. We call them Anashramis. People who are not initiated into the Vedic karma in the proper time are called as Anashrami. They don't belong to any of these 4 ashramas. Maybe he is born as a Brahmin, but if he has not been invested with the sacred thread at the proper age, he loses the validity of becoming a Brahmin. So all these varnas, that is the varna system, and there is ashrama system. Each ashrama, each varna has 4 ashramas. One is brahmacharya. At least the first 3 ashramas have these 4 ashramas. One is brahmacharya, the other is grahastha, third is vanaprastha, fourth is sannyasa. Brahmacharya, celibacy. Then grahastha, a married man, a family man. Vanaprastha, a person who has taken the retirement from this family life duties. And sannyasa, a person who has renunciated everything. So these are the 4 ashramas. Now here, the previous ashrama and previous varna is saluted by salutes the other varna, other ashrama. You have qualified. See, here also a superior officer is saluted by an inferior officer. Though they are all in the same military or police or some department, but still there is a order here. Similarly, to maintain an order, it is said that this is the code of respect. There is no higher lower state, there is a code of respect. So here, in this Varna Ashrama system, people follow the Vedic rules. Now, there is this 5th one, we said, Anashrami, who does not belong to any ashrama because he has lost the state of the eligibility of being in that state of ashrama. The 6th one is Atyashrami. That is what we are interested in. He is not just Atyashrami, he is also Ati Varnashrami. That is why he says. He is beyond the, Ati means beyond. He is beyond the scope of Varnas and Ashramas. And that is why we salute, we worship Krishna, who is a Kshatriya, Rama, who is a Kshatriya again, Vyasa, who is a Shudra. Different kinds of people, we worship all them because they have grown beyond the state of being limited to the Varnas and Ashramas. So he says, Jivan Mukta, he is liberated while alive. He is also referred to as Atmaratisthata. Similarly as Atmarati, a person who is involved in the self. Because there is nothing other than self to be involved in. Therefore, he is involved in the self. Etasya kritakrityatvat shastram asmat nivartate. Etasya kritakrityatvat. Since he is one who has performed whatever needs to be performed. Since he is one who has done whatever needs to be done. Kritam kritya yasya. Kritam kritya yaha. Yaha, one who has done whatever needs to. Kritam krityam yaha. Like that you have to say. So, one who has performed whatever. Kritam means performed. Krityam means whatever needs to be done. One who has performed whatever needs to be done, that person is kritakritya. Since he has done the thing which needs to be, like what is that one who is born as a human being? What is that one who was born as a human being needs to do? That is the question, everyone. Why am I born? Why am I born? That is the question. I want to get the answer for this. Why am I in this matrix, in this scheme? All these stupid questions. The only answer to it is, you are born to gain realization. Simple. There is no other purpose for your life. You are born to gain realization. That is the only thing which you need to do. And that is why he says, Shruti says, Atmalabhat parolabha nanyat kaschit vidyate. There is no other greater gain we can gain here, we can get here, other than gaining the knowledge of self. So he says, since he has gained the knowledge of self, kritakritya, he is kritakritya, shastram asmat nivartate. Shastra reverses back, retrieves. It doesn't stay along with him. He doesn't guide him anymore. How is that? See, what is Shastra? Vidhi nishedhatmako Shastra. Shastra means that which is guiding us through injunctions and negations. This needs to be done. This should not be done. These kind of vidhis and nishedas. And that is why there is a statement in Vedas which says, Ko moha tatra ko moha kashokaha ekattam anupashyataha. This we can interpret it as tatra ko vidhi ko nishedaha ekattam anupashyataha. What vidhi can be there or what nishedha can be there. Moha and shoka can be termed as vidhi and nishedha, because moha, delusion. Where is the delusion? When you are given an injunction, do this, you become deluded. And shoka, sorrow, is because of the negation. When you are said not to do, then not to do. If you do, then there is a problem. There is sorrow. Not being able to do something which you want to do because of the negation, again is sorrow. So, you do it sorrow, you don't do it sorrow. Therefore, nisheda is sorrow. So, he says, ekattam anupashyata, for a person who sees one non-dual self, for him there is no rule, there is no exception. There is nothing to bind him. That is why Shastra asmat nivartate, Shastram asmat nivartate. Shastra goes back. It doesn't stick with him. What is that? He says, Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasya ete gatidashyarthaha prakashante mahatmanaha. Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasya ete katitahi arthaha prakashante mahatmanaha. There is another reading, akatitahi arthaha. But in the Shvetashvatra Upanishad, it says katitahi arthaha. It is said akatitahi arthaha. Let us understand both here. Yasya deve parabhakti, one who has great devotion towards the God, Ishvara, deve, Ishvara. Yatha deve tatha guru, as in the Ishvara, he has the devotion in the Guru too. Tasya ete, to him all these, katitahi arthaha, all these whatever are given as instruction, teaching. Prakashante Mahatmanaha, the absolute self illumines itself to him. It illumines all that knowledge to him. Now, Kathita hi artha means whatever is being taught to him. Whatever is being told means as a teaching. If you say akathita hi artha, you should not interpret it stupidly as that whatever is not said will be illumined. That is a stupid way of translating. Akathita hi artha means that which is implied. Means there are two ways to understand through words. One is through word meaning, the other is through implied meaning. So, akathita hi artha, if you understand it as akathita hi artha, those implied meaning, those that was referred to through the implied, by the implied meaning, those things also will be illumined to him. The self, which is implied. It cannot be through word meaning. That is why Shruti very clearly says, Yathovacho Yathovacho from where the words and the mind reverse back, come back. So he says, Ityadi Shrutimānena Kāyena Manasa Gira Sarvavasthasu Bhagavat Bhakti Atropayujyate Yato Vacho Nivartante Aprapya Manasa Saha Nivartante Asmat Nivartate, it is said here. Okay. So it says Ityadi Shrutimānena Kāyena Manasa Gira Kāyena Manasa Gira Sarva Avasthasu Bhagavad Bhakti Atropayujyate. He says Ityadi Shrutimānena, with these Shruti Pramanas, valid proofs, Pramanas, Kāyena Manasa Gira, through these means as said here, Shveta Shaltopanishad, etc. So those Shrutis prove Kāyena Manasa Gira, Kāyena with words, with body, Manasa with mind, Gira with words. So body, mind, sense organ, with all these Sarva Avasthasu, in all the periods, in all the states, Bhagavat Bhakti Atropayujyate, the devotion to God is very useful here. See, in all the states means, see, the devotion to God should not be a give and take policy. It should not be a business. Now what we do is, if the God does not provide us whatever we desire for, then we say, oh, that God is useless. If God provides us, oh, very good God. God gives, then he becomes God. If God does not give, then he becomes a stone. He becomes an imagination. So that should not be the state. You should accept whatever, whether it is good or bad, whether it is seen as good or bad by you, to be a gift of God. We don't know what good it is going to bring us. It is a gift of God. We have to accept it as that. So, Purva Bhumo Krita Bhakti. He said, Bhakti Atropayujyate. The Bhakti, the devotion is useful here. But useful for what? That he says, Purva Bhumo Krita Bhakti Uttama Bhumi Manayet Anyatha Vigna Bahulyat Falasiddhi Sudurlabha. Purva Krita Bhakti. In the previous Bhumi, in the previous Bhumi means state. There are 7 states which we saw just now. There, in those 7 states, he says, Krita Bhakti. If you do the devotion, Uttama Bhumi Mane, it helps you to go to the higher state. If you do the devotion properly, it helps you to go to the higher state. Anyatha Vignabha. If you don't, I am not a devotee of God. I am very logical, I am doing this, I am doing that. If you have no devotion towards God, then you are not going to grow. You are not going to go to the next state. Why? Vignana Bahulya, there are so many obstacles. Because of those many obstacles, Phalasiddhi Sudurlabha, gaining this greatest result, which is the knowledge of self, is Sudurlabha. It's not difficult, it is very difficult. Sudurlabha, he says, not Durlabha. Sudurlabha, it is very difficult to gain the knowledge, to be established in the self. What do you say? No, I don't see like that. Purvabhyesena tenaiva hriyate hyavashopi saha aneka janma samsiddhim ityadi cha vachohare. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate hi avashopi saha aneka janma samsiddhim ityadi cha vachohare. In the 6th chapter he says, Aneka janma samsiddhim tato yantim parangatim. After practicing it for so many births, finally yantim parangatim, he gains that absolute state, the final state, that which is not a state. He says, that is what he says. In these 6th chapter slokas, he says, Anyatha purva abhyasena, because of the prior practice. Abhyasa vairagya abhyam tan nirodha. In Yoga Sutra, in 6th chapter we will see these sutras also. In Yoga Sutra, he says very clearly, how do we gain the cessation of mind, the samadhi? Abhyasa vairagya abhyam tan nirodha. Cessation of mind is gained through both abhyasa, practice, vairagya, dispassion. Both are necessary. So, through this, you gain the samadhi. Here he says, purva abhyasena tenaiva. Through this devotion, which is done in the past, kriyate hyavashopi saha. He will be pulled into hri harane dhatu, root word. So, he will be pulled into he avashopi, definitely he means definitely avashopi saha. Avashopi saha means without being in his own control. See, something happens even after being told to not do, you do it. You don't know. You are advised not to take sannyasa now, but you just run out of the house. You say, no, I have to take sannyasa. There is no way to stop these things, because we are not in our own control. Avashopi saha. It is not because of the desire to renounce, it is because of our losing the control. Because what? Because of the purva abhyasa, because of the practice in the past birth. So that punya helps us to come to Shastra. And what do we do now? We don't do any punya, we don't do any study of Shastra. That should be not the state. We should study the Shastra to help us uplift from this level to the next level. Otherwise, this beautiful life we have gained in this birth will be lost in our next birth because we have no punya. So he says, avashopi saha. So that is why kriyate hi avashopi saha. He will be pulled into this knowledge, even not being under his control. He cannot be in control of things. It is impossible. That is why the Buddhist idea of saying, like there is this Dhammapada, someone who said, which is repeated by some Vedantis also, that is a stupid statement to say that I will be on the gate of knowledge. Until the final person is liberated, I will stay on the gate. This is impossible, because either you are knowledgeable or you are an idiot, not knowledgeable. Then there is no other state here, in between state. Idiotic knowledgeable or knowledgeable idiotic. No, the idiot. No, there is no other state here. There can be no mix of knowledge and ignorance. So either you are an ignorant or you are knowledgeable. You cannot be on the gates of knowledge. So all these ideas are very it looks very beautiful, attractive, but they have no stuff. They really don't stick to. So he says, with this, and he says, Aneka Janma Samsiddhim Ityadi. This is gained through punyas, gained through many past births, not just one, so many past births. Otherwise, it is very difficult to come to this stage. Iti vacho Hare. It is not said by me. This is what is the statement of Hari. Oh. Yedi pragbhava samskarasya achintyatvat tu kaschana prageva kritakatyasya akasha phalapatavat. How can you say that you have to have devotion, you have to study Shastra? This is all your problem. Because there were great people like Raman Maharshi who didn't do any devotion, who didn't study any Shastra, but still suddenly something happened and he became released. How can that be? If you say it is impossible for anyone who has just entered to gain the knowledge, but he didn't even enter. He was not even interested in gaining the knowledge. He was afraid of death. That's all. How did he gain knowledge then? So something happened. So don't bring in this mystical ideas. Nothing mystical can work here. If it is mystical, it is not the knowledge. If it is knowledge, it cannot be mystical. Suddenly something will hit you. Don't expect anything like that to happen. If something hits you, it probably is my hand. So he says, Yedi pragbhava samskarat. If because of your previous thought imprints, pragbhava samskara, bhava is not samsara here. Pragbhava means the past. Pragbhava means the past. The past samskara of the previous births, because that is achintyatva, it is impossible to imagine what kind of samskaras we have, thought imprints we have. So suddenly something happens and you become something else. So therefore, kaschana, we can see it in our own life. We were not this whatever we are. We were not interested in becoming a renunciate, a sadhu, etc. But suddenly something happened. We came into this path. It is not because of our effort. It is because of our past samskara, which instilled in us these ideas. So he says, tu kaschana prageva kritakritya syat. If someone becomes kritakritya even before the study of Shastra, even before the bhakti, then he says, akasha phalapata, like the fruit which is falling from the sky. See, there is a fruit in the branch of the tree. So when it has fructified completely, what does it do? No, I'll stick to this tree because this tree has nurtured me to become this beautiful fruit, this tasty fruit, etc. In this way, it doesn't stay there. In fact, fruit falling from the sky, from the tree, may be said as an effect of gravitational pull. So even that chance is not given there by the Shruti. In Shruti it says, Urvarukam eva bandhanat. Mrityunjaya mantra it says, Urvarukam eva bandhanat. Bandhanat, from the bondage. Eva, like water, Urvarukam eva. Like the cucumber. This cucumber fruit, it doesn't grow on trees. Cucumber grows on this creeper. And this creeper does not creep on the trees, etc. It just spreads on the land. What happens once this fructifies? The cucumber separates itself from the creeper. Similarly, and there is no gravitational force, there is no external force, it automatically gets separated. Similarly, here also, once the punya which is needed for being kritakritya fructifies, that knowledge suddenly, see, even then, only the punya is not the reason. Suddenly, some inquiry process or something you heard from someone, that becomes a Mahavakya, and that inquiry into it becomes the cause for liberation. So he says, therefore, it cannot enter a new one. If it enters a new one, then he is someone who has he is an old one who has been practicing this for so many births, past births. Tam prati kritarthatvat shastram arabdhishyate prak siddha sadhanabhyasat durgneya bhagavad kripa. Why is it so? So what if we say na tam prati kritarthatvat shastram arabdhum ishyate prak siddha sadhanabhyasat durgneya bhagavad kripa. Na tam prati kritarthatvat. Since he is a kritarthatvat, since he is a kritartha, he has performed whatever needs to be performed, he has gained whatever needs to be gained. Natam prati, not to him, shastram arabdhum ishyate, we desire to begin the shastra. Shastra is not for the one who is a non-believer. Shastra is not for a one who has gained the truth. Shastra is only for the one who is believer and who has not gained the truth. There is no use for shastra for both the extremes. Only people who are believers and who want to be liberated, only for them the Shastra is. Therefore, we don't desire Shastra for them. There is no rule, injunctions, etc. possible for him. We already said this. Praksiddha sadhana abhyasat. How did he gain suddenly? Because he has been practicing this, not this for this life. He didn't begin it in this life. He has been practicing this in past so many births. Praksiddha sadhana abhyasat. Sadhana abhyasat. Practice of these sadhanas. Sadhanas means sadhana chaturshti, etc. Viveka, Vairagya, Shamadhishitta Sampatti, Mukshitva. All these which we saw earlier, he has been practicing it for all his past lives. Because of that, and he has been studying the shastras, that is important sadhana. He has been doing bhakti also, that is important sadhana. Because of practicing all this bhakti, shastra, shravana, etc., in the past births, he has gained kritartha. He has become kritartha. He has gained whatever needs to be gained. How is this? Don't ask how. Because Durgneya Bhagavad Kripa, the grace of God, the grace of Ishvara, the grace of Bhagavan is not something which we can comprehend. It is incomprehensible. Durgneya means it is incomprehensible. What? Bhagavad Kripa, the grace of Ishvara. Evam prakmuta siddhau appi uttarotra bhumaye vidheya bhagavat bhaktihi tam vinasana siddhyati. Evam prag bhumi siddho api uttarotra bhumaye vidheya bhagavat bhaktihi tam vinasana siddhyati. Okay, because of some reason he has gained the knowledge. What happens? After that, he comes to Tiruvannamalai, he stays put there and he becomes established in that knowledge. There he is attracted to this Tiruvannamalai, this idea of Tiruvannamalai. So, similarly, what we have to do is some reason we are pulled into this path of knowledge. Some reason we don't really deserve it in this birth. We know all that. So, he says, Prag Bhumi Siddho Api. So, some way or other, even if you have gained the victory over the past Bhumis, see, since if you are in somewhere below the sixth Bhumi or sixth Bhumi, then you need to put some effort to gain the seventh Bhumi. This is final Bhumi, which from where there is no return. There is Jiva Mukti state, we said. So, there he says, for that, Uttarottara Bhumaye, for gaining the higher states, Videya Bhagavad Bhakti. Bhagavad Bhakti, devotion to God should be practiced. Videya should be practiced. Sa vina na siddhyati. Tam sa vina sa siddhyati. Sa vina na siddhyati. Those states, why should I practice devotion? Because those states are impossible to be gained without devotion of God. What is this? He says, Jien mukti dashayam tu nabhakte phala kalpana adveshtrutva vattesham svabhavo bhajanam hare. Okay? So, till 6th, why till 6th? We'll include it in the 7th also. In the 7th state of Jivan Mukti also. What is the devotion? Why? Because you yourself said in the beginning that this very Acharya writes this composition on Krishna. What does it say? Vamshi bhushitakara navanita choran. Finally he says, Krishna param kimapi tattam naham jane. I don't know anything, any truth which is greater than Krishna. He himself says that. Don't bring those logic here. Because Jivan Mukti Dashayam, this author is a Jivan Mukta, no doubt, don't even doubt it for a minute. Jivan Mukti Dashayam, in the state of Jivan Mukti, na bhaktehe kalpana, phala kalpana, there is no result oriented for this devotion. There is no result expected or result imagined for this kind of devotion. Devotion of these great people. That is why after the realization and being established in that knowledge, Arunachala, etc. So many shlokas on Arunachala, so many compositions on Arunachala was written by our Bhagwan. Not just that, there are so many Tyagaraja, etc. So many people, they have written great compositions on Ishvara. Bhagavan Bhashyakara himself has written so many compositions on God, different forms of God. There is no result oriented devotion here. There is no result here which is associated with this devotion. Because they are Jivan Muktas. Jivan Mukta don't need anything. Means there is no other higher state than Jivan Mukta. So he says, Adveshtruttvadivat, like the state of you should Adveshtruttam, Amanittam, Madambittam, etc. He will talk about later. Meaning he should not hate others, etc. That not hate others is to be practiced by a seeker, but it becomes natural. Subhavo. It becomes natural for him, for that Jivan Mukta. Similarly, Adveshtruttvadivat, like the Adveshtru, etc., not hating others, etc., Tesham Svabhavo Bhajanam Harehe, their devotion to Lord God will become natural. How do you know this? It is said, Atma Ramascha Munayah Nirgrantha Atyurukrame Kurvantyahetuki Bhaktim Ittam Bhuta Guno Harihi. So, he says, Atma Ramascha Munayah Nirgrantha Ati Urukrame Kurvanti Ahoituki Bhaktim Itthambhuta Guno Harihi. Why is it so? It becomes their natural state. Because Atma Ramascha, Atma Rama. Rama means Ramukridaya, one who is playing in the Atma self, one who is involved in the self, nothing but self. Munaya, those kind of saints, Nirgrantaha, they don't have any bondage, any association, any ties. Chid Jada Granthi Visa, the association of the self and non-self. These kind of bondages now no more exist. They don't exist anymore. Nirgrantaha, because of being devoid of this kind of bondage. How? Api urukrame, they are cut very clearly. They are cut asunder very clearly by this knowledge. Kurvanti ahitukim bhaktim. They still do the devotion bhaktim ahitukim, which is no cost. Costless devotion. They will be doing costless devotion. There is no cost effect associated to this devotion. Why? Ittham bhuta guno harihi. This is the nature of the Hari. Doing costless devotion is the nature of Hari. He is not differentiated from Hari. You have to see this. Ittham bhuta guno harihi means that is the nature of Hari. To perform costless devotion on him. Not like that, you have to understand. This is the nature of Hari. This is the nature of that self to be devoted to itself without any cause. without any cause. There is no cause-effect relationship because there is nothing other than self being involved in the self. How do you know this? How do you interpret it like that? He says, Tesham jnani nityamuktah eka bhaktir vishishyate ityadi vachanat prema bhaktoyam mukhya uchyate. How do you know this? Tesham jnani nityamuktah. He will say artharthi, artha, then jignasu, then jnani. 4 states of devotion. Artharthi, a person who desires something. Artha means who has no other way. He has to get the object like this. Then jignasu, a person who desires knowledge. Then jnani, one who is established in the knowledge. One is liberated. So 4 kinds of devotion, he says. Among them, Tesham Jnani, among them this Jnani, this one who is liberated, Nitya Muktaha, one who is always associated with the self, because he is with the very self. Therefore, Eka Bhakti Vishishyate. Eka Bhakti is Eka Bhakti, one devotion. Devotion to this one self is great. Eka Bhakti means Eka Atmani Bhakti or Eka Atma Eva Bhakti. Eka Atmani Bhakti or Eka Atma Eva Bhakti Yasya Sa. One who has one which is the self in that devotion. One self in that devotion, or one who is the one who is devoted to that which is non-dual self. One, the devotion which is the non-dual self. So in this way you can interpret. So he says, iti eka bhakti rishi. His devotion is special because he doesn't see anything else other than the self. Edat sarvam. How do you know this? Ityadi vachanat prema bhaktoyam mukhya uchyate. With these statements, it is said that this prema bhakti, this devotion with love, is accepted to be the primary kind of devotion, the primary form of devotion. A devotion which does not expect anything in return is accepted to be the primary form of devotion. How do you know this? Edat sarvam bhagavata Gita Shastre prakashitam ato vyakhyatu etat me mana utsahate brusham. Etat sarvam bhagavata Gita Shastre prakashitam atah vyakhyatu etat me mana utsahate brusham. All these, etat sarvam, all these, Bhagavata, by Bhagavan himself, Gita Shastra Prakasham, has illumined by Bhagavan himself in this Gita Shastra. All these are illumined in this very Gita Shastra by Bhagavan himself. Atah, therefore, Vyakyatum etat, to comment upon this, me manaha, my mind, my heart, utsahate vrisham, is enjoyed, is working overtime. Utsate means I have this energy to desire to write. Utsaha, desire. I have this great desire to write on this, comment on this. The Brisham Utsahate, very great desire. It's not just a simple desire. Brisham Utsahate, great desire I have to write on this. In this way he says, we will see the rest. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaaya Purnamevavashyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.